All right, and we are live. So, welcome to the replay. I am Miguel,
I am Daniela.
and we are with A Disney Life for Me. Sorry about that. We're using a slightly different
Yeah.
setup today. Um, so, we're just making some adjustments. All right, and so this is Disney Talk Tuesdays. We come, hey, Stacy
Hey,
Rogers,
Stacy.
thanks for joining us. So we get together every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our Disney Talk Tuesdays,
Hey,
in
Arjas.
which we just talk about all things Disney. Sorry, guys, just trying to fix this new setup that we have. Hey, Corey, welcome.
Hey, Corey.
As you guys are coming in, make sure that you do hit that like button.
For sure.
Hey,
Hey,
Dean,
Dean.
Dreamers Empire, welcome.
Get the
And
chat.
so, before we get into our conversation for today, let's go ahead and just give everyone kind of what they can look forward to from us for the rest of the week. So, we've got a vlog coming out on Thursday. Can you tell them a little bit about that and what they can expect to see?
Yeah, sure. So Gabby just turned one. She is one already. She
So
just turned one on
crazy.
Saturday, which is crazy to us. Like, it just went by so fast.
Kids make life seem like a blur.
Yeah, they do.
So, yeah.
It's crazy. So, anyways, we vlogged the party for y'all. She had a mini theme party. So we'll have a vlog coming out on the birthday party.
Yeah.
Should be fun.
And then we have this weekend, not matching intentionally, Haley. Yeah, so hey, Martha, thanks for joining us.
Hey.
So this coming weekend,
Yeah.
we've got Disney Jeopardy on our channel.
Yeah.
So we're excited.
Which
This is we actually have a first
the first
that
time
is
ever.
happening this Sunday. It's the first time that we ever have the same three contestants on for a second
Yeah.
month in a row. This
All
has
three of
never
them.
happened. In fact, we've never had the same three contestants on ever.
Yeah.
And so this is the first time that'll be happening. We have Megan from Mickey's Magic. We have Dan from Disney Dan, and we have Zoe from Wishing Mouse. So this will be the first time that the same three are competing. Last month, Megan came out victorious, and then we'll see what happens this month.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Hey, Alyssa.
Hey, Alyssa. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Can we say they can't play next
Can
month?
we? So Stacy, all joking aside, we know that at least a couple are considering taking a month off.
Yeah.
So we likely won't see them for a third month in a row. Not by force. Nobody's forced to
That's right.
to sit out, but
For
I
sure.
think a couple of them might. So.
So stay tuned.
Yes,
Keep coming.
Keep coming.
You might get
keep
a
coming.
chance.
Keep competing. So yeah, thank you, Corey,
Thank
for
you,
reminding
Corey.
everybody. Please do click that like button. It really helps our stream. No, I know, Stacy. No worries.
Hey, human person.
Human person, welcome. Thanks for dropping by. So you want to let them know what we're going to be talking about today?
Yeah, what are we talking about today?
That's what I'm asking you.
Top 5 Walt Disney World attractions to cool down on.
Yeah, so places to cool down, attractions to cool down.
So attractions would include rides, shows, places in Walt Disney World. So we'll talk about all of that. We each have a top 5 list. So
yeah, we created a list. Have not talked about our list.
we have not.
So we don't know what
Haley,
I don't know what Dee has. I don't know what she doesn't know what I have. Yeah,
Yes,
and so
Martha.
you guys,
So yeah,
you
y'all
guys are listing
chat it
some
up.
stuff, and when we do, we want to hear from you guys.
You're hitting my list
we
right
definitely
now.
want to hear from you guys as we're going through it.
Yes.
So I am going to go ahead and
Get us started.
yeah, let's get started. We want to hear from you guys as well. So I'm going to take a look at my list, and I'm going to start us off by breaking the rules.
My list is here.
So we each have a top 5. All right, we each have a top 5.
Stacy.
I
love it.
But I'm gonna throw in a honorable mention right off the bat.
I'm doing a couple honorable mentions.
All right. So this one, the reason why I didn't make
you get to go first.
my honorable mention.
Okay, go.
All right. So my honorable mention. I only have one. The reason it didn't make it on my list is because it's not available all the time, and it's not available to everyone.
What?
But so Dee and I have the Disney Visa card.
Chase.
And the Chase, yes, the Chase, Disney Chase Visa, right? It's a Visa. Yeah. So it's a credit card that you get points on, and it goes towards Disney dollars, right? Hey, Rob Fuzz, welcome.
Rob.
And so during the Food and Wine Festival, Chase usually sponsors a lounge in Epcot where the Chase card holders can actually go. And so they have free sodas that are available. They have soda machines that you can get as many refills as you'd like. You sit in the air conditioning. You're sitting on the second floor, and you get to kind of look out. Yeah. It's near the American Pavilion.
Adventure. It's in the American Pavilion. Yeah.
So it's near the American Pavilion. Hey, Twinklebell Terran, welcome.
Dean.
Dean says he didn't know that. So it's during Food and Wine. It's not something they have around all the time. It may be, Stacy. I don't know. So again, that's why I kept it as an honorable mention, because I know it's not around all the time. Yeah. I know they've done a few different things with it.
On that note, you know what is around all the time is the DVC lounge for DVC members. Yeah. So Disney Vacation Club members actually get their own nice lounge where they get snacks and those Coke machines with all the options of drinks. They can have as much as they want. It's pretty cool.
We've not been in that.
No.
We're not DVC members.
No, but our friends are.
Yes.
The Love Family.
Love Family Productions posted a video. Yeah, they posted a video. They've streamed live a couple times from it, and it seems like a great place to cool down. So anyway, that's why mine was just an honorable mention. Not available all the time, not available to everyone, but nevertheless a really great place to relax and cool down. All right?
Yeah. So the way that I went about this, I don't know how Miguel went, but I chose at least one spot in each park, and Magic Kingdom has 2 spots. So I'll start with my number 5, or do you want to still... I'm going to go back to honorable mentions.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's go into the top 5 then. Hey,
Yellow, Jessica Love. Maybe
is that Brianna?
Yeah. Anyways, so where do I go first? Which park? Hollywood Studios, Epcot, Animal Kingdom, or Magic Kingdom?
So you're not doing it in any particular order?
No.
Okay, my top 5 are in a particular order.
Okay, yeah. So. I don't follow rules.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to go to Hollywood Studios, and my favorite place to cool down at, it's a show that I love to go to, is One Man's Dream. I love going into One Man's Dream. It's inside, it's a nice little museum up until the show, and then once you're in the show, it's just a nice, cool theater to just chill out at and really just get into, what Walt's history was like, what his upbringing was, what was it like to be Walt in Walt Disney World, and how it came about. It's just a really nice place. I enjoy it a ton.
Yeah, that's a great pick. I love that as an attraction. Yeah. I'm one of the people who's crossing his fingers and hoping that with all the changes going on at Hollywood Studios, that they don't touch that, that they leave that alone. Hey, Love Family.
Welcome,
I see
Love
that
Family.
You've changed accounts, so welcome.
Got it. So it's y'all.
Yeah, so, that's a great pick. That's a great first pick.
Thank you.
Very
I thought
good.
so, too.
Yeah.
It's probably should be number 1, but I just went with Hollywood Studios.
And it's a great way to get out of the sun, get some AC.
Yeah, it's great. I love it every time.
One thing just to note, though,
get rid of it,
because we're big on family and helping people experience Disney as a family.
Martha.
No strollers allowed in One Man's Dream.
Strollers.
So if you're looking to cool down, but you have a toddler, and carrying a toddler is not exactly super cool, you do have that hiccup there. But if you don't have kids, or if the kids are walking on their own, or whatever the case may be.
That's a great point. But the thing is, once you get in the theater, you get to sit down. So, it's only up until that point.
And also, I mean, if you mean I have to walk, yeah.
That's awesome.
AC is always fun to be in,
person,
but sometimes you need a little blanket with you. Yes.
what Martha said, that is a good place to see the upcoming prototypes. That is
Yes.
so true, Martha.
Yes.
That's
So
a
they
great
had
point.
the Toy Story Land
Mm-hmm.
kind of like models there. They have some Star Wars stuff there.
Yeah.
You also get to see movies
Yes.
that are coming up.
Yes, the upcoming movies that are
yeah.
coming up is cool. I remember seeing Coco. The
Yeah. We got to see the Coco previews
what was
there.
it called? Preview. That's the
Yeah.
word. I was thinking.
Yeah.
It's not review.
Absolutely. Yeah, so it's a great place. All right, let me go ahead and hit our my number 5. Yeah, because we can talk about all of these forever. So I'm going to go ahead and move us on. So my number 5, and what I did with my top 5, because there's so many different ways we could have approached this list, and we did it intentionally that way, right? It's up for interpretation a little bit. We can play around with it. So I'll explain my number 5. But my number 5 is Hall of Presidents in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, that's on my list.
And the reason why I picked the Hall of Presidents is because super cold, so human person, talk about needing a blanket, right? Hall of Presidents, you need a blanket.
Yeah.
But if it's a really hot day, it's a great place to cool down. And I'm a history teacher, okay? I'm a history teacher. I love Hall of Presidents. Great, valuable information. But if you want to sneak a little nap,
that's what I was going to say.
It is a fantastic place to just kind of lay back for a minute, just kind of let your heavy eyelids just kind of take over, and then
if your kids need a nap, you just
it's a good spot to
nice, cold, relaxing, and educating place.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's why it made it to my number 5. It's a good spot. Love long shows. Yes.
Well, along those lines, so that definitely was one of the ones that I chose for Magic Kingdom. Yeah. I'm gonna head over to Epcot, and
so this is for your number 4.
Sure, but remember mine has no order.
That's fine. I'm just keeping you in order. So number 4 for Daniela.
Anyways, if you head over to Epcot, the American Pavilion, the American Adventure ride or show. That is one of my favorites at Epcot because it's a long show. The history is great, but it's a long show for a good old long nap. That's cool, and nap kind of go hand in hand for me. So all my answers are going to include a good place to nap.
All right, very good. Studies show that if you sleep while gaining info, you can actually retain most of the info by memory. Nice,
we
human
knew that.
Person. So when I'm teaching tomorrow, and my students fall asleep in class, I should be encouraged rather than discouraged by that. Right. That's good. That's good to know. You guys must
America.
All right. So number 4 for me is Club Cool. Somebody had mentioned it earlier.
I think it was Corey. That is so funny.
So yeah, somebody had mentioned that earlier, but Club Cool, to me, great place in Epcot.
Yeah.
It's where the famous Beverly is sold that everybody likes to drink as a challenge. But, it's inside.
It's inside.
The doors are open constantly.
All the time.
So sometimes it's not as cool in there.
Just drink yourself to coolness.
But yeah, it's free refreshments. Mm-hmm. I mean, they do only have little cups, but you can have as much of it as you want.
You can.
And I mean, you can only have so much soda in one sitting. But yeah, it's a place where you can relax, and it's refreshing. It's a place where you can have a beverage that is free, and you get to try some neat flavors of soda.
Yeah,
so
of the world.
Yeah. So I'm a fan of that.
Yes, human person. I was totally gonna mention that Disney Dan loves the Beverly.
Yes. All right. So that was my number 4. So now
that means I'm on number 3. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go to Magic Kingdom because it was already mentioned. Back to Magic Kingdom. Carousel of Progress. I love the Carousel of Progress. Period. Maybe we do like America a lot. Anyways, I love just chilling in there and just seeing the show all over again. But it's a nice place to cool down. It's not always busy. That's what I like about Hall of Presidents and Carousel of Progress, Great American Adventure. These are busy things. You can easily go to any of these at any point during your day, and it's not going to be a long line. So yeah, I really enjoy the Carousel of Progress.
Yeah.
Cool and enough.
Yeah. No, I love the Carousel of Progress. this is how much of
Great, big, beautiful to
of
be
a romantic I am, though. Is I go into the carousel of progress, right, which is all about progress, and I get nostalgic. Right, carousel of progress is supposed to make us think about the future and how exciting and how much we've developed, and I'm just thinking the 1950s just seems so cool and so nice, and I want to live in that neighborhood, and I want a house like that,
Oh,
and so
jeez.
yeah, I've got problems, but yeah, I think that's a great pick. I didn't think of it for this one, but I think Haley had mentioned it earlier. Actually,
Yeah, one of them, Corey or Haley.
somebody
I
had
saw someone
mentioned
mention it
Carousel
earlier.
of Progress. That's a good one.
Good choice.
That is a good choice. All right, before I give our my number three, I do want to just remind you guys. Back there, these are postcards that we've received, and then a pair of ears from Cargo. And so, if you ever would like to send us a postcard, we'll actually open it up on Disney Talk Tuesday, and then we'll have it posted up there. So that's funny, little family. And
Me
so
either.
we've got
I
Goofy,
still don't get it.
Goofy postcard sent by Mark Allen, and then we've got this Rhode Island postcard sent by Corey and
Fiasco.
Haley, and then we've got the Thomas Ever After postcard there up there. By romantic, I just meant a nostalgic, somebody who longs for the past, and so yeah, I meant it in a more technical sense. All right, Martha's been one of my students. She knows all about the romantics, and she can tell you all about it.
I'm sure Disney Dan will know
right.
exactly what you're talking about.
Love Family says they will send one soon.
Vintage
Awesome
vibes. I like that.
All right, good deal. So,
Your number
let me go to my number three. And so, my number three is The Seas with Nemo and Friends.
Someone mentioned that.
But I'm going to cheat and say the whole thing. Seas
The
with
aquarium?
Nemo and Friends. Yeah, so
okay.
the ride. That ride is particularly cold, and it's dark
is.
in there, so it's actually nice and cool. I can send a postcard
Arjons.
from Orlando.
I love it.
Arjons, we can save you the postage. You can just hand it to us.
We'll meet you at Disney.
But yeah, it is cold in there, Love
It is.
Family. So that's why I thought of it. But you have that great ride. You have Turtle Talk with Crush and the aquarium. So the reason why this one made my list is because you can spend an hour and a half to 2 hours in there, maybe during the hottest part of the day, and you've got AC, you're inside. These things aren't typically crowded. They're not rides or attractions that bring in a whole lot of people. Sometimes it can get a little busy in there, particularly when it rains, though. So I'm a big fan of it, and so that's my number three.
That's awesome. Number three. Dean said, funny story, my dad spent half a day at Living with the Seas not realizing how much was in Epcot. that is hilarious.
Funny. That is funny. Yeah, you don't want to spend half a day there because there's too much to do. But I do think you could legitimately spend 2 hours there really enjoying the stuff and staying out of that Florida summer heat. So
I agree with you. That's a good one. I didn't even think about that one.
All right, so going at a good pace here.
Are we? Okay.
Yeah.
What's next? Number two?
Yep.
I already shared Hall of Presidents. I think you shared that
Was
one.
that the other
that was
one
my
for you?
other one.
So why for you? Because I gave a few reasons as to why.
Oh, they were exact same reasons.
Okay.
Main reason being the nap.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a good one. That is a good one, and it's a good one to get cooled with. And not only that, the Hall of Presidents, I think, sometimes gets overlooked, and people kind of skip it because it's just a show or whatever. But for those who are true Disney fans, as most of us are, right, in this chat, Walt was very patriotic. Walt would have wanted those kinds of things in his park, and so as you're being able to kind of follow along with the Disney story that is being told, those are the kinds of things that help connect us with the original story Walt wanted to tell. He loved this country. He loved much of what it stood for, and so for him, those kinds of attractions I think would have been particularly special. The American Pavilion, Hall of Presidents at Magic Kingdom, those kinds of things I think would have mattered quite a bit to him, and so it helps us kind of connect with Walt's bigger idea of the parks. My thoughts exactly, Miguel. Just take a look at the moments with Mr. Lincoln at Disneyland. Exactly. Good human person.
Great point.
That's great.
Great point, human person.
Yep. So.
Yeah.
All right. Good deal.
So now I'm hopping over to Animal Kingdom.
Okay.
Wait, did you do your two?
I did. I did not do my two.
Okay, you do your number two.
Yeah. I did my number. So my number two takes us to the Animal Kingdom.
Oh. Well, look at that.
And so my
What
number
are you gonna
two.
say?
I hope I didn't take yours.
You did.
So my number two is actually
Is
the
that
Kali River Rapids. Okay, good. And so here's the deal. I love the Kali River Rapids. It's one of my favorite rides. I know it's not for a lot of people. I'm not a huge heights person, and I'm not a huge roller coaster person. So the rides that I like at Disney are different from the ones people typically list. The Kali River Rapids is one of my favorite rides. I really enjoy it. It's not my number one on this list because you get wet a lot. You get very wet.
You can get soaked.
Love Family says, ew, Miguel. Yeah. So you get soaked.
Probably why.
You get soaked. You're walking in wet shoes the rest of the day. I can't handle getting wet. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So obviously getting wet is the reason why I put it on, because you do cool off.
Yeah.
But to walk in the heat, in any conditions, really. But to walk after getting wet is a pain. So that's why I didn't make it to my number one.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. So my recommendation, okay?
Yes,
my recommendation is if you're gonna do Kali River Rapids, it's still a good one. It's still a good one. Yes, Corey. I was okay. So real quick
horrible.
Before I go to Corey's comment, that was fantastic. I would just say do Kali River Rapids towards the end. Okay. Now, if you have not, Corey, and if you don't mind, go ahead and put a link to y'all's
to that
vlog.
video.
Yeah, to y'all's vlog.
Y'all gotta check
for
it
those
out.
who haven't seen it. So Corey or Haley, whoever, go ahead and drop a link to that vlog for us that you guys did. So we got to meet up with Corey and Haley. You guys probably know this because we talked about it a couple Tuesdays ago. Great time. We loved being with them. Can't wait to see them again. But it started to pour. We were in line for the safari, and the skies opened up.
Yeah.
And we still went on the safari.
We did.
And so, yes, I got more wet on that safari than any time I've been on Kali River Rapids because it was just soaking.
I feel like than ever in my life.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Like, it was raining so bad, the animals were just standing still, and they didn't know what to do. Like, they just weren't sure what was going on.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Corey, for dropping that in. Hey, guys, check that out. Don't leave our stream to check it out, but click on it, save it for later, and make sure to check it out. So, and they do a fantastic job with their videos.
So yeah, I will say that I also didn't like to get wet. Don't like to get walk around wet, which is why Splash Mountain didn't make my list. But I will honorable mention it as you can get cool on Splash Mountain, especially the one we went on with Love Family Productions.
Yeah.
The 360 ride, how we got soaked in that one. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So Love Fam, go ahead and put a link to your 360 on Splash Mountain.
Yes, they did.
That was ridiculous.
Recently post that, so you guys can check that out as well. And it's really cool because it does have the 360. They use the 360 camera for it, so make sure to check that out. I was not on that ride.
But we were calling for him 3 times on the ride.
I was with the kids. I didn't put Splash Mountain on the list because I don't like riding Splash Mountain. I thought she would have it on hers, but
I didn't want
because you get wet. That's why. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
All right, number ones.
So our number ones. Before we give you our number ones, you guys go ahead and put your number one in the chat.
Oh.
So let's hear from you guys
Your
first.
number one spot.
Yeah. What is your number one place to cool
The
down.
People Mover? The People Mover?
The People Mover.
Nice. That's a good one, Dean. I like that one. That would have been an honorable mention for me.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, Dean.
AC.
I'll be honest, Dean.
But
I had it on my original list. Yeah, we're getting People Mover. I had it on my original list, and then when I went to write down my list on my phone that I was going to use, I for some reason forgot it, so it didn't make my list. But it should have been. I think that is a great place to cool down.
Cool. Yeah, I agree with People
Yeah,
Mover.
People Mover is awesome.
The only thing with People Mover is that if it's a hot day, it's just hot, humid air blowing at you as you're moving. So that's the only reason I didn't put People Mover on my list, because I really crave AC when I'm hot. So that's the only reason. My number one would have been...
Well, let's just wait and see if there's anybody else. Martha says Epcot, The Living Seas, which is Nemo and Friends. Oh, I bet I know one coming. Living with the Land is another favorite. Living with the Land, I thought about that one.
That's
Impressions
a good
de
one,
France.
Corey.
Yeah, that one's a good one.
I like the Canada show, though. I like the Canadian one.
Yeah. I wish they had seating in those, though. Lion King show or Nemo show. Okay.
That's my number one.
Okay, so go ahead and talk about it.
So that's my number one. The Finding Nemo show. I feel like Finding Nemo is a really long show. So you can cool off for, like, in a really middle of a hot day. A nice chunk of AC in the middle of your day with a great, fantastic production. I mean, we love Finding Nemo, the actual show, and we love the songs in it. It's nice and long and comfortable. I don't know. I love it. That's why I made my list. And that was my go-to spot at Animal Kingdom. So.
Yeah. So we got to be guests on Disney Fiasco on Disney Dan's channel. And we got to talk about shows. And I actually made the bold claim there that the Finding Nemo show is the best show in all of Walt Disney World. I realize not everybody agrees, okay, so relax. But yeah, I believe that, and I stand by that. I think it's the best show, live show, at Walt Disney World. And so yeah, you have the AC, you have a fantastic show, keeps the kids entertained, and so I think it's great. I think it's great. That's a good mention, Martha, of an extinct attraction.
That was one of my favorite things at Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
I missed the animation class.
Yeah,
It used to be so much fun.
All right.
So you have your number one.
And so my number one is the Pirates of the Caribbean.
I knew you were going to say that one.
The Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's a good one. It almost made my
And the reason why is because I think the boat, right? You're going slowly sometimes, but sometimes it picks up a little speed. You get a little breeze. You're inside.
It is
it's
a nice
AC.
little breeze. You're right.
And sometimes, if you're sitting in the right spot and the cannonball hits in the right spot, you just get
stars align.
a little wet, just a little. Not drenched, not where you're having to walk around wet all day.
Just a sprinkle.
But just enough. Just enough to cool you off.
Yes.
And so I think that Pirates is the place to be when you want to. Corey, my husband,
That's
just
awesome.
mentioned the Great Movie Ride. That's cool.
Aww.
Yeah.
Yes, the mist at the beginning of that
Thank
ride.
you, Dawn. Thank you for dropping by.
Hey, Dawn.
Yeah, the mist at the beginning of the ride. Mm-hmm. So I picked the Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's an excellent choice.
Yeah, so
it's good.
That's where I went.
Good job. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the Great Movie Ride. That's a good choice as well.
Yeah, of an extinct attraction. We missed that one a lot. We're looking forward. Very much to what they're going to be doing.
We're nostalgic, but we're also futurists. So.
Yeah, we like. It's one of those things where if you've been going to Disney long enough, there's things that you miss, and you know they're going to take away rides that you really wish they wouldn't. But you also kind of trust them with what they're doing.
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm. You got to. You ain't got another choice. We got really wet in Pirates of the Caribbean Friday evening, says our John.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Nice. So you were sitting in the right spot and got the right cannonball.
Awesome.
Corey says Pirates is probably my number one ride overall.
Wow, that's
strong.
big.
But you know what, Corey? I can kind of
Bold.
see it. I can kind of see it because it's a good ride. Like, it's
Super
a good
classic.
ride. It's
Yeah.
a classic. It
I
has
love
that
a classic
nostalgic
ride.
factor, but also, and I don't know if you like this or didn't like this, but I liked the addition of Jack Sparrow.
I agree.
I thought it added a little bit to
Mm-hmm.
the ride,
Totally.
made it a little
Mm-hmm.
more contemporary, but it still feels very classic. But I love a lot of what they've added. You know, certain effects, the lights that
Yeah.
kind of look like mermaids, and
Yes.
the way that they've changed little bits of it with other movies. Um,
The way they
I've
birth an awesome movie series.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love it.
Um,
He wants
do
the
you miss the
redhead
we
scene.
once the redhead scene? Yeah, so that's a scene they changed not too long ago,
Okay.
and so
I'm
we haven't
familiar.
been we haven't been writing it much lately because it's still a little too scary for the kids.
Yeah.
But I'm familiar with the scene. I know that there's a lot of mixed feelings about that scene and that it needed to go or didn't need to go. I'm okay with Disney making some changes, but I think within its context, within the storytelling, it kind of makes sense for the older scene. But I understand how that could be upsetting. She's still there, right? Right. I know.
Okay.
She just switched her role. Yeah. No one mentioned Frozen. While not that funny, it seemed like a snappy idea. So
Oh,
I
that's
will
funny.
say this:
I just got
Dean
it.
Maelstrom
We love
would have been on my
Maelstrom. We
list.
love Maelstrom.
Maelstrom would have
We
been
have
on my
yet
list.
to go on
Yeah,
Frozen.
yeah. We just haven't done it.
It just honestly, I'm gonna get off topic with Frozen. It was just a disappointment for me to be even in Epcot.
Yeah, losing Maelstrom was disappointing.
Maelstrom made sense in Norway.
Right,
Like
right.
that makes sense.
We
But
still have
that's
mixed feelings about how much the movies are getting into Epcot. So, yeah.
we're just trusting Disney on this one.
Yep. So we'll write it soon. We just, for a long time, you had to wait ridiculously long to get on it, and so we just haven't. But it's something we need to fast pass, and we just typically don't fast pass that. So,
yeah.
Alrighty.
That's the show.
That's our top 5. Thank you guys for joining us and for coming out. We know it's a little late for those of us on the East Coast, but we appreciate you guys coming out and chatting with us a bit. Be sure to check out those channels that we mentioned. Corey Fiasco's video that he linked of us getting soaking wet on
the
safari. Check out Love Families 360 of Splash Mountain. And Dan, who is a faithful supporter, always watches our recording the next day.
Hi,
and
Dan.
So we'll ask Dan to drop a link to the Corey Fiasco